Sam O'Sullivan definitely didn't grow up in the Oliver Bond. I mean, he comes from a totally different background.
And that's why, of course, he's South County Dublin, so we're always going to call him the posh boy protege.
Yeah, which is possibly a bit unfair, but we do know that he'd been sometime in the 90s. He'd come from a respectable middle class background, but had become involved with, I think, really back in those days, I think Christy Kinahan Sr. was actually in prison, and it was John Cunningham who was running the operation, and Sam O'Sullivan had been involved in I think it was more of an ecstasy business at that stage in cannabis, and had basically gone on the run. And over those, I suppose it's approaching nearly 30 years at this stage, he's stayed involved in criminality, often very close to Christy Kinahan Sr. We do know as well, actually, in these affidavits, we hear of another prison term that he served in Holland, which I don't think we'd known about before, had we?